Hello everyone. In this video I am going to be talking about bug-in storage options. So, when you're bugging in, you will need to store things. If you have a pantry to store stuff, that's good. If you don't, that's not so good. Cases of water are easy to store. You can stack them up in a corner. You can slide cases under your bed, put them under the table, whatever. But lots of prepping channels on the internet talk about using 5-gallon buckets for storage. Well, I didn't go out to the store to buy a bunch of 5-gallon buckets. What I have is I have 2 cats, and they use cat litter. And usually what I get is these buckets of 35-pound Purina Tidy Cats, cat litter. The nice thing about these is they're pretty decent sized buckets. As you can see from a 2-liter bottle, it can fit in here. Actually, I can fit maybe 3 of them in here. I haven't tried yet, but anyway, you can see by the size comparison how much space is in there to store. I think these buckets are kind of great. If you have cats and you use cat litter, might as well save these buckets. There's an added option for them. They have a lid. You can close that lid, and as you can see, it locks, so it's not overly tight, but it's tight enough to where it won't flop open on you. And you can stack the buckets in the lids on top of each other like so. The lids seem pretty sturdy enough to where you can stack these 2, 3, maybe even 4 high. However, but if you have a spare wall in your house that you're not doing anything with, and you have these buckets of cat litter, don't throw them out. Save them. Save them. I use them because, number one, I can use them for storage. I can take Mylar bags of rice, put them in, and keep them there. Put a little piece of tape on there and mark on there, or use just a permanent marker, mark on there what's in the bucket. Beans, rice, supplies, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Another nice thing about these is you can use them as a garden in your home, or if you live in a smaller apartment building, like here in Chicago. I used to live in a smaller apartment building that had a backyard. It was a small little backyard, but it was a backyard, and it had a little patio out there and stuff. And if I still lived in that building, I could ask my landlord, hey, can I put some of these buckets out there on the patio? Patio is a fancy word for just a concrete slab right by the house that separated the house from the grass. It was a narrow little walkway, but still. Put some dirt in this bucket, plant a potato in there. There's channels on YouTube that show you how to grow potatoes. If you can't do it outside, do it inside. If you've got a room that gets sun or something, and you can put this by a window, do it. Do it. You know what? Like here. My windows are right there. I can put one bucket down. I can put another bucket down. And my third bucket, I could have dirt in it. and it would be right in front of the window. To get sunlight, I could plant a plant in there. So my two bottom buckets would have supplies, whatever I need, and my top bucket would have a plant in there. I could have a little home garden, which I am intending to do. But anyway, you don't have to go to the store to buy buckets, but buckets make a great storage supplement. You can use buckets for storage. That's if you have a cat. If you don't have a cat, maybe your friend or your neighbor has a cat. If they do, ask them. I'm sure you have a friend that has a cat. Ask them if they buy cat litter. If they do, ask them if they buy the cat litter in a bucket. If they do, ask them if they're willing to let you have the empty bucket once you're done. Of course, you'll have to clean it because it smells like cat litter, but oh well. You take it outside, give it a good rinse, give it a good wash, good rinse, and boom, you're done. But whatever, you now have a bucket. Have enough of these and you have buckets. Me, personally, I have several buckets. Actually, these are just one portion of the buckets that I have. There's another section that I have of buckets in another room that are empty that I haven't used yet, but use these buckets. Another decent idea for storage: empty 2-liter bottles. If you drink pop, save the bottle. Really, just save the bottle. Rinse it out, give it a good rinse, give it a good wash, let it dry out, save the bottle. You could store stuff in there. I do. I have a bottle filled with lentils. I have a bottle filled with pinto beans. I have a bottle filled with some other beans. And of course a couple bottles filled with rice. I've got oxygen absorbers in them. The cap closes up nice and tight, and it makes for a pretty decent dispenser. I mean, hell, you open up the cap, you just open up the cap and then pour out whatever you need to pour out, and that's it. So it makes for a pretty good dispenser. In fact, even if you don't plan to store anything in these bottles, it still makes kind of a good dispenser. Instead of if you buy rice in a bag and you keep it in a bag. At least this way, if the bottle falls over, it's not going to spill. A bag of rice, if it falls over, it's going to spill. But anyway, these are storage solutions, kind of. You can put supplies in these buckets. You can put whatever you need to in these buckets. If you're storing up MREs or those freeze-dried meals, put them in the buckets. Put them in the buckets, close the lid, put it away somewhere in a corner, under your bed, whatever. But have some way of storing instead of throwing everything in a pile. Kind of works. Anyway, that's about it for this video, but these are two little storage items that I use. I have a couple of big giant Tupperware tubs, as I would call them. I mean, they're just big plastic tubs that we went out to Target to buy. So yeah, we have those two. But I mean, yeah, you could do those, buy those. But if you're buying cat litter already, you already have a big giant Tupperware bucket kind of thing. So yeah, but have some way to store your stuff, or at least have it semi-organized to keep it. 2-liter bottles, make a pretty good choice. Buckets, make a pretty good choice. You know, if you're going to store stuff in your 2-liter bottle, just rinse the bottle out, wash it out completely, dry it out, and then use those oxygen absorber packs in there. You close it up, it stays nice and tight. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Thanks.